Well, hello there, Commonwealth. This is Great Grandpa Gamer. We're out of Sunshine Tidings, and we're going to take a crack at that warehouse. Yeah, this thing right here. You know, we're going to keep all these things that are part of the warehouse. That right there. That stove, that fridge, those boxes. I don't want to scrap those, so we're going to use them, or try to, as best we can. And that table is in a bad place, but we'll use it anyway. So this video is going to be divided up into two sections. First, we're going to do a very reasonable repair of the building. And then we're going to be completely unreasonable. I'm telling you, I have one of the craziest decorations I have ever seen. And that may be saying something. David Legend and Shazo have showed us how to use scaffold floors for rooftops. So we're going to use one right now. And what I'm going to try to do is match the peaks of the roof to the peak of the scaffold ramps before I place any more scaffold ramps up there. I also have the distance about right. So let's see if I matched up the peaks. Pretty doggone close. Now, once I got the peaks matched up, and I think I have the distance about right, we'll go up top and start adding more scaffolds. More ramps all the way across the roof. Now, it's nice that the scaffold ramps will clip, they'll snap end to end, but they won't do it widthwise, so you have to place some flat floors over there, guide them all the way across. It's not a big deal. It's just a little bit of the build order imposing itself upon us. And we'll place one ramp with the rails on it, because I do want to put a landing up here. We can use that right there. Now, once I wiggled this thing around and got both peaks to match up on both sides, I'm ready to lower the entire thing on down. Just to when it turns red. That'll be a great height. There's a little gap up there. And I kind of want to fix that. So we're going to pillar glitch in some gables. But as long as we're going to do a pillar glitch on the gables, let's just attach a weapon to the gables. The center trash can came from the Capital Wasteland CC. If I drop those 3 trash cans onto a shelf, I can clamp that shelf to the inside of the gable and create a little turret stand. We're doing a shiller drop right here. So I'm going to have to tell you what a shiller is in a little bit, because I'm using words that may not be familiar to everybody. And in the meantime, let's just keep on going. You can use a concrete floor, not a concrete, a warehouse floor, concrete warehouse floor, to allow your pillar glitch to go a little bit higher. And just 2 warehouse windows side by side. A few balcony railings, closes up the holes. That tool I'm using right there is related to the shiller. That one's a pillar rack. It's a gun rack on a pillar. A shiller is a shelf on a pillar. Okay, there's clear space for a landing. You may notice that both my shiller and the pillar rack have a little rug dropped onto them. And with that rug, we're able to do shiller drops that I showed you earlier. So now we got some terminology out of the way. We have ourselves a landing. Let's put some railings up here so I don't fall off and break my legs again. And let's get some light in the warehouse, because we're pretty close to finish with the outside. Let's make a practical decoration right here. Stack of barrels. We could just use the doormat to squeeze these barrels into place. But eventually the doormats, well, they don't reach far enough without collision. But if I place them on one of these big rubber mats and then hide a tiny doormat underneath, I can do more fine precision tuning. There we go. A few candles, a few more glitches. We have ourselves a stack of barrels. Let's just add a couple of chem workstations. Yep, make it look like we're in a certain kind of business, maybe. Moonshining business. Let's make a dividing wall. So I'm using the chiller to raise up railings. I use it again to lower it down to the next set. I'll raise that entire set up and keep on doing that. I'll replace my floors, snap more rails to it, raise that up. That's what we call the Wallinator 2000. So we'll just move the whole thing on in. Make sure it's high enough. Yep, I can walk through, good enough. Place a gun rack on here because I can get the gun rack on there fairly flat. I couldn't get paintings on there very flat, but now I can snap the paintings to the gun racks. I showed this trick a few times. Let's place one up above, and I'm just going to fill this area with gun racks so it doesn't look kind of funny from the other side. Leave one gap for one more painting. And there we are. There's our partition. We use a big mat to position two of these couches on. Both of the couches are on a mat. We'll chiller drop a cactus onto an end table. We'll hide the rug underneath. We can just move the entire thing on into the corner. Fits like a glove. I believe these drapes came from the Nuka-Cola CC. Had some cool decor items. Another thing I like about gun racks is they'll fit in the oddest of places, like inside a shelf. So we have a little paper on the inside of the shelf. Add a little interest, and we can squeeze a wall light in there. This clamps to the gun rack. All right. Okay, let's work on the outside a little bit. We'll finish up our stairs up to the landing. Here we are. Now all of this has been conventional decorating, right? There's been nothing unusual. And the more I decorated this, the more I was hankering to do something really weird. Now, that I found 4 of those bears was kind of cool, but it still isn't weird. And I'm still trying to find a way to stock the shelves that is easy and foolproof. How about chiller dropping? Hey, not bad. It works perfect. That's what you should do. What? No. All right, don't use that one. But honestly, I was starting to get bored. This is reasonable. And I'm having a hard time being reasonable. So I started going a little crazy. Yeah, that looks weird. Very strange decoration. I'll place this on the back of a sign. I can clamp the sign to the outer wall. Those shelves and whatever was writing on them went through the inner wall, and there's our beautiful decoration. On that one, I used a shelf and did the park map. Now, let's prepare for the weird stuff. Super Duper Mart has 3 of these shopping carts close by. I found another one by Walden Pond, I guess. Let's use those shopping carts, friends. Let's get weird. I'll line 4 of them up, well, actually 1 at a time, and using these little wall letterings, and I placed it on all the sides I could, inside and out of the cart. I think there's 7 per shopping cart. When I remove the floors, look at that, they're all floating. They're all floating in midair. You've seen me do that with a big old tire before. So I clamped some conduits onto it in preparation for the future, and this one just wasn't working out. And by not working out, it worked perfectly. I like it. It added variation. So we've got a ball track arch above it. A few fishing buoys to balance it out because it isn't perfectly centered. A couple of those warehouse scrap walls. Yeah, gave it a little depth. We're going to use the gun rack to make a flat surface on this part of the warehouse wall. Add a lot of color. And here we are, where the sun shines. What do you think of that decoration, friends? Let's see what we did here. Turrets up top. We could not ignore this back area. That machine right there has all those Far Harbor decorations stuffed inside of it. It is a collision box that is inside whatever that machine is. We placed a, I don't know what you'd call this, a shelter, I guess. We built a little shelter back here for somebody to sleep. Get a closer look at our sign. That thing is just wrong, you know that? Sunshine, Hooch, and Kemps. Demand the best. Take a look at our landing up here. Pretty simple, but a pleasant place to take your lunch. See how we did on the inside. Well, hey, Susan. How's Kim business doing? She has a store. I don't know what she sells more of, the Hooch or the Kims. Either way, if you want an addiction, just go see Susan. And here's a little place for her customers to kick back. Let's take one more look at our sign at night. Sun shines. What a wonderful. Sue shines. No! Piper, why didn't you tell me? Sue shines. Oh, man. Hey, friends. Thanks for joining me. You have a fantastic day. Bye-bye now.